Welcome to the BSR Travel Podcast, your weekly dive into the vibrant world of music tourism. Produced by Black Soul Rhythms Radio, we're here to share the latest news, inspiring stories, and unforgettable destinations that connect culture and adventure. Each episode is crafted for travelers like you, those who seek authentic experiences and love to discover the African diaspora through travel. And now, let's explore what's new this week in the world of music tourism.
Freedom. You know, it's such a powerful idea.
Absolutely.
Really gets you thinking, right? It can mean so many things to different people.
Mm-hmm.
And today, on the deep dive, we're going deep, no surprise there, into two celebrations that might seem really different at first.
Right.
But when you look closer, they both connect with this idea of freedom, of community, and expressing who you are through culture.
Exactly.
Juneteenth and the Chicago House Music Festival and Conference.
Two really vibrant events.
They are.
Different places, different roots, but both tell us so much about people coming together, about identity, and that human need to be free.
That need to be free.
We're going to dig into their histories, why they matter so much, and how these events really come to life.
We've got some amazing information to share with you all today.
We do.
We're pulling from Juneteenth events in Charleston, Atlanta, the Denver Juneteenth Music Festival, all the excitement around the Chicago House Music Festival and Conference, and even the family reunion, which dives into Black culinary traditions and how that ties into community and music.
Our mission today is to make sure you really understand why these events are so important.
Yeah.
We'll break it all down, connect some dots that you might not see right away, and hopefully you'll walk away with a whole new perspective, maybe even some travel inspiration.
All right, so let's jump right into Juneteenth.
Let's do it.
We all learn about the Emancipation Proclamation, right? 1863, this huge turning point.
It was.
But the thing is, freedom didn't just appear overnight for everyone.
Definitely not.
For many, it was a long road.
That's a really important part of the story.
It is.
The Emancipation Proclamation was huge, but it didn't have the same impact everywhere, especially in those Confederate states.
Right.
Think about those watch night services on New Year's Eve, 1863, Freedom's Eve.
Wow.
Enslaved and free, Black people gathered. They were so hopeful, waiting for the proclamation to finally take effect.
They were waiting.
But for those in Texas, that news took over 2 more years.
It's hard to imagine waiting that long.
It is.
The Confederate territories, they weren't exactly rushing to comply.
No, they weren't.
So here's a key moment. June 19th, 1865.
Right.
2.5 years after the proclamation.
Wow.
Around 2,000 Union troops land in Galveston Bay, Texas.
And importantly, those troops included Black soldiers.
Right.
They were there to make sure the proclamation was actually enforced.
To make it real.
Finally bringing the news of emancipation to over 250,000 enslaved people in Texas.
Can you imagine the feeling?
The weight of that moment?
Generations of bondage, and then finally...
Almost impossible to grasp.
It is.
And that day, June 19th, that's what the newly freed people in Texas started calling Juneteenth.
Their own Independence Day.
It was.
And it's important to remember, even then, the story wasn't over.
It wasn't.
A few states held out. They didn't fully abolish slavery until the 13th Amendment later that year. It's a reminder that freedom isn't always this sudden event.
Right. It's a process.
Step by step.
Step by step.
Fast forward to June 17th, 2021. Juneteenth becomes a federal holiday.
Finally.
Celebrated every year on June 19th.
But of course, the celebrations themselves go way back, don't they?
They do.
They started as early as 1866.
Wow.
So while federal recognition is huge, the heart of the holiday is in the community's history and traditions.
That's right.
Juneteenth pays tribute to that long, hard fight for freedom, and it celebrates the strength and the contributions of everyone who made it possible.
Okay, so how do we see this history reflected in today's celebrations? We've got some great examples. Started with the Juneteenth Family Fest in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Back in 2021.
What really stands out about the Charleston event is how focused it is on the local community.
Yeah, it felt very grounded.
It did.
At Riverfront Park, they were expecting around 3,000 people.
A big crowd.
For a whole day of live performances, showcasing Black art, music, food, things for kids to do, and then to top it all off, a huge fireworks show.
It sounds amazing.
It did.
And it really highlighted how far we've come, but also how much further we need to go.
Definitely.
Using celebration as a way to bring people together and remind everyone that the fight for equality continues.
And they were very clear about their purpose.
Oh, yeah.
It was a community-driven event to celebrate progress towards freedom,
Absolutely.
but also to educate, to talk about the achievements and the lessons learned in the struggle for liberation for everyone of African descent.
Education and celebration, that's a powerful combination.
It is. It is.
It's a time to look back, acknowledge where we are now, and think about the future.
And then we have the Juneteenth Atlanta Parade and Music Festival.
That one's coming up in 2025.
It is.
This sounds absolutely massive.
Massive, barely scratches the surface.
Really?
They're taking over Piedmont Park for 2 whole days.
Wow.
Their theme is striving to be the #1 sustainable event in America.
That's ambitious.
It is.
And pretty awesome.
They're planning 2 entertainment stages, a huge marketplace with handmade goods from local and international vendors, tons of different food options, and a whole range of cultural activities.
It's amazing how big their vision is.
It is.
And the televised Juneteenth Black History Parade,
Yeah.
with the goal of having someone from every city in Georgia.
Every city.
It's a powerful statement about unity and identity.
It really is.
And beyond the parade, the amount of stuff they're doing is incredible.
It's wild.
A $25,000 band battle at the Gemini Boogie stage, the Afro Atlanta stage, family reunions, a 5K freedom run, pageants, even ASL interpretation for everything.
It's like they've thought of everything.
It sounds like an amazing community gathering.
It does.
Something for everyone.
Yeah.
And that public cash mob action call to support Black-owned businesses, that's really putting action behind their words.
It is.
Promoting economic empowerment in a real way.
And they're expecting people from all over the Southeast, the Caribbean, South America, and tons of African countries.
Really shows how global the significance of this day is.
It does. It does.
So we've got Charleston, we've got Atlanta, now let's talk about Denver.
Denver's Juneteenth Music Festival.
It's all about transforming their historic 5 Points neighborhood for this annual event.
It is.
Performances, block parties, you name it.
Sounds lively.
But their Juneteenth parade is really something special.
It is.
It's Denver's longest running parade, going all the way back to the 1950s.
Wow.
Nearly 5,000 people marching.
5,000 people.
That's incredible.
That's how you know this celebration is woven into the heart of Denver's community.
It really is.
And they've got all these dedicated zones, too.
Like what?
A vendor marketplace, a VIP area, even practical resources like information for first-time home buyers, and a health zone.
So thoughtful.
It is.
So looking at these 3 examples, Charleston, Atlanta, Denver, what ties them all together?
At the core, they're all about commemorating the end of slavery.
Absolutely.
And celebrating Black culture and freedom.
Right.
But beyond that, there's this huge emphasis on building community.
Bringing people
to sharing this experience. And we see this beautiful blend of honoring the past with all this vibrant artistic expression.
Music, art, dance.
It's all there.
It's all part of it.
And then that focus on economic empowerment, supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs.
So important.
And it's not just for adults, it's for families, for kids.
That's right.
Making sure that the meaning and the joy of Juneteenth are passed down to the next generation.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's switch gears a bit and talk about something that might seem completely different.
All right.
The Chicago House Music Festival and Conference.
Now this is fascinating.
It is.
House music, this hugely influential dance music genre.
I love house music.
It was born right here in Chicago.
In Chicago.
It came out of the city's vibrant cultural scene.
And Chicago really celebrates that legacy.
They do.
With this annual festival and conference.
If we look at the 2024 event.
Yeah.
The festival was a whole day of amazing DJ sets.
Oh, yeah.
Right in Millennium Park, the heart of the city.
Amazing location.
They had some legends of the genre performing.
Oh.
Wayne Williams, Alan King, Farley Jackmaster Funk, Tony Touch, DJ Slugo.
Wow, that's a lineup.
It is.
And it wasn't just the festival itself.
No.
They had an open house and some really interesting panel discussions at the Chicago Cultural Center before the festival.
Really digging into the heart of house music.
Yeah.
And looking ahead to 2025.
2025.
The conference is scheduled for Friday, August 22nd at the Chicago Cultural Center. And then the big free festival is on Saturday, August 23rd, back in Millennium Park.
Free admission, that's huge.
It is.
It makes it accessible to everyone.
It shows how committed the city is to sharing this part of their culture.
Absolutely.
And, it's not just a local thing.
It's not.
This genre was born in Chicago, but it's had a huge impact on dance music all over the world.
It really has.
So how do we connect the celebration of house music with those ideas of freedom and expression that we talked about with Juneteenth?
That's where things get really interesting.
They do.
It might not have that direct link to emancipation, but house music emerged from marginalized communities in Chicago.
It did.
It became this space for self-expression, for joy, and in a way, for liberation.
On the dance floor.
Right, on the dance floor.
Think about it.
Yeah.
At a time when some communities felt like they didn't have a voice,
They didn't feel seen.
the house music scene offered them a place to belong.
A place to be themselves.
It was a form of personal and collective liberation.
The dance floor, it became this place where societal rules could just fade away.
Exactly.
And if we think about it in terms of cultural expression,
Yeah,
house music gave a voice to communities that often didn't have one.
it did.
It gave them a sense of belonging.
And that communal aspect of dance and music festivals,
Yeah.
that shared energy, that release,
Yeah,
that's freedom too.
it is.
The freedom to be yourself, to connect with others, to experience joy together.
The freedom to move, to express yourself through dance and music,
Right.
to connect with people in this shared, amazing experience.
It's powerful. So let's bring in one more element here.
Okay?
The family reunion at Salamander Resort and Spa.
This one's a bit different,
It is.
but it helps us understand how celebration and community work within the Black experience,
In a different way.
moving beyond those specific historical events or music genres.
Right.
This event is happening in Middleburg, Virginia in August 2025,
Okay.
and it's all about celebrating the diversity of the hospitality community with a big focus on Black culinary traditions.
So it's a food and culture event.
It is.
Sounds delicious.
They're bringing in amazing chefs like Carla Hall, Rodney Scott, Kwame Onwuachi.
Wow.
It's going to be this immersive experience with cooking demos, panel discussions, and these special family meals where you can actually sit down with these culinary stars.
That's so cool.
It is.
And even though the main focus is on food and heritage,
Yeah.
they're incorporating music into the evening events.
Which brings us right back to that theme of celebration
It does,
and how music connects people.
no matter what the context is.
Right, right.
And I love that they're focusing on supporting the next generation of Black professionals in the hospitality industry.
It's all connected, isn't it?
It really is.
These different events, Juneteenth celebrations all over the country, the Chicago House Music Festival, and even the family reunion.
They all share these really powerful themes.
They do.
They're about coming together, about belonging.
Yeah.
They're about celebrating identity and heritage. And they create spaces for joy, resilience, and freedom.
And music and art are such important parts of all of them.
Absolutely.
So for you listening, what does all this mean?
Yeah, what do you take away from this?
We hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of why these events matter.
I hope so.
Juneteenth, in all its different forms, is this powerful reminder of emancipation and a celebration of Black culture.
And the Chicago House Music Festival shows how a genre that came from one community can reach people all over the world.
It does.
And it creates this amazing space for collective joy and expression.
And events like the family reunion highlight the diversity within the Black community
Absolutely.
and the power of food and music to bring people together.
So here's a question for you to talk about.
Yeah.
How do these different celebrations reflect a community's history, its identity, and its hopes for freedom and joy?
That's a good one.
And what other seemingly unrelated events might actually have deeper connections if we really look at their spirit and their purpose?
I like that.
It's worth considering how you personally connect with celebrations of freedom and cultural expression.
It is.
Maybe this deep dive has made you want to learn more about Juneteenth,
Right.
or explore the history of house music.
Or even experience one of these events for yourself.
And if planning a trip around these cultural events seems overwhelming,
Yeah.
there are resources out there.
There are.
Like Black Soul Rhythms Travel, they specialize in curating experiences around music and cultural festivals.
That's great.
At the end of the day, these events remind us that freedom has so many different faces, and that community and cultural expression can uplift us, inspire us, and bring us all together.
There's always more to learn and explore.
There is.
And we encourage you to keep digging into these fascinating parts of our shared human experience.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
See you next time.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's BSR Travel Podcast. We're thrilled to have you as part of our travel-loving community. Remember, we'll be back next week at the same time on the same platform with more inspiring stories and cultural insights from the world of music tourism. In the meantime, visit us at blacksoulrhythms.com/subscribe and sign up for our weekly email. It's your personal dose of travel inspiration curated just for you. Until next time, safe travels.